Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. To new members, welcome. I am YouTube Cameras, and I wanted to get an opportunity to talk about the Jeannie, Mai, and Jesus situation. Now, I know everybody's been talking about this situation, but I need to look at it from a different angle, right? Because what's the reason why? Because if you guys remember, I don't know if you guys are shocked about them breaking up, but if you recall, there were some comments that she made from their talk show, The Real, right? She had made like several comments, right, regarding African Americans, right? If you guys recall, she had made a comment. I don't quite remember what the topic was at that time, but she, her first husband was is Caucasian, and when the topic of like dating came up or whatever, and she said that she likes her white meat as the main dish, and then she likes dark meat as a side dish. Now, I think that she got flack about it, right? But so it was quite, she ended up with Jeezy, right? A lot of people speculated, oh, what's the reason why they're getting together? Like who, like who's more popular? I guess at the time her talk show, was doing well, but he's a rapper. He's been around for some time. So I don't know. I would say that maybe they're at equal playing fields or whatever. Who knows? Or whatever the case may be. But fast forward to now, after 2 years of marriage and one child, they are divorcing, and it appears that Jeezy is the one who filed for a divorce, right? So it leads people to speculate, oh, like what happened with their relationship, and then the angle I want to take is, are you equally yoked? Because when they started dating and it came out that they were dating, it happened really quickly. And then they got married. It was like, wow, this is really fast for someone who says she likes dark meat as a side dish. And now you're marrying a black man and a rapper. Like that's a public figure, okay? And if you guys recall, when she broke up with her Caucasian husband, she talked bad about it. That was a contentious stuff. The guy remarried and had kids and all of that stuff. He was happy. He didn't really come out and, like beat up on her in public, but she did. Every chance she got a chance to talk about it, right? So, um, are you guys shocked that they're split? I am not shocked that they're split. Let's dissect why I'm not shocked. Okay, first, it said that Jeezy filed for divorce, right? So people speculated, was there infidelity in the marriage? And one person, like they were saying that Mario Lopez allegedly was, they linked her to him. But she has now come and debunked that and said that's not true. As you know, as I mentioned earlier, they have a 1-year-old together, right? Um, According to him and the filing papers, he said there's apparently no hope for reconciliation, right? But on her side, she is trying to work things out, right? She's trying to work things out and she's trying to save her marriage. Now, when one party says it's irretrievably broken and you're trying to work it out, well, kudos to them. Who wants a marriage to be broken up? For their child's case, you want things to work out. But if it's not a healthy relationship, or maybe they don't know each other well enough, maybe they should get a chance to, get to know each other better, and, maybe it will work out. But I wish them the best. But let's continue though. So he filed for this divorce, and he said there's no chance of them making up, but she's still holding out hope, right? So what could have been some of the things that caused it, all right? And these are people that we know publicly, right? So it's not that I know them personally. We're just judging and making, this is just my opinion, and I'm just basing it on what we know publicly, based on what she said herself, and based on what we know of them publicly, him as a rapper, right? So she had mentioned in the past that Jeezy can be, cold as ice when you don't engage with him, right? So it makes you kind of think like, what? So is it a situation where if you're not engaging, or maybe whatever he wants to talk about, if you're not engaged, is it like a lack of emotional engagement? Is it a lack of emotional attraction? Is it a lack of being there emotionally for her, or vice versa, right? Could that be one of the problems? Listen, I would say that is one thing that will make someone check out, at least for me anyway. If you're not emotionally there, right, you look for other places, like whether it's your girlfriends or whatever, right, to be emotionally available for you. You have different friends for different reasons, right? But your partner should be one of those people. It's very important that your partner is emotionally available. So it's interesting that she's saying that it's as cold as ice when you don't engage with him, okay? So so then what else that can be very isolating, right? So maybe she felt like, oh, okay, well, he's not, if I'm not engaged, she looks elsewhere, right? This is all alleged. I don't know. I'm just, just examining this whole situation, okay? So it looks like he was contemplating like separating from her like as far back as June, but then they decided to go on like a 3-week vacation to her country. She's Vietnamese. I think she's Vietnamese and Chinese, right? That way they could understand the culture. Now, that kind of makes you wonder, since they took that trip, couples, at least they tried, right? If you try to, at least make it work. So I wonder what happened after they came back. Did he observe something he still didn't like? Was he not satisfied after the 3 week, since he's the one that filed, right? So what I guess what we're trying to see here is what happened after this trip. Like, what is it that caused the demise of this marriage, right? Honestly, I want to say that one, he's black. Two, she's, like, the culture is different, right? Vietnamese, Chinese, there's huge cultural difference, right? There's huge cultural difference. I know she's close with her mom. You guys often, in fact, she has a YouTube channel with her mom. You often hear her talk about her mom. She's around all the time. So I don't know what the family dynamics, I don't know if that bothered him a lot, but these are things that should have been talked about or kind of like agree upon before you tie the knot, because that's a serious situation, right? So did this play a part in the, did the cultural differences play a part in the separation, right? It begs one to question, are you equally yoked, right? Should you consider like family values? You know, one would hope that before you marry someone, you've met the family. Like, that's why sometimes it takes time to jump into a serious relationship, because you're not just marrying the person, you're marrying their family, right? Um, so, could the family values have played a part? She also talked about a brother. Now, some people have speculated that the brother and the sister lived with her. So I don't know if that was, part of the problem, right? You can imagine you're newlyweds and then you have the family like living with you, and then all the cultural stuff. And when I say cultural stuff, that means the beliefs, the religion, the food, like the behavior, the way you, because they have a child, how are you going to raise a child, right? Um, so could that have played a part in, their issues, right? And, Jeannie herself also had mentioned that she's hot-tempered, right? And I think in the past, I don't know what the ex-husband did, but obviously she was, a bigger star, right? We didn't really know what he did, but she's the star in the relationship. So it is unequally, is being unequally yoked, right? Because obviously it's like, in public, it appears that she's a breadwinner, and with her like admitting that she's, hot tempered, and that she got away with it unless someone held her accountable, right? And we saw some of that displayed with her ex, right? She would say a bunch of stuff. She called him Mitch, right? On the talk show. Go back to old talk shows, go back to old shows where he's appeared. She called him Mitch, right? She disrespected him in public. She trash talked him after they got divorced. So I guess in this case, when she got with Jeezy, this is someone he said he's a star in his own right. So there's not a situation where, she's has a more superstar or whatever, right? So he was holding her accountable. He was like calling her out on her hot temperedness, or like her temperament, right? So I think, maybe could that have also, contributed to some of the issues, right? This is something that she admitted herself, right? um so Jeezy himself has, like other kids with from previous relationship, but we don't really see him. I don't know. I'm just saying, based on me, I don't see him being like one of those family guys with all the kids. So I don't know. Does he spend time with the kids? I think he has different baby moms. Is he the kind that when stuff doesn't go his way, he walks out? Because he's literally walking out of a 2 year marriage, right? And here he's leaving yet another baby mom. I don't know how many he has. So if this marriage, if they don't end up working it out, this is going to be yet another baby mom. So there's a pattern here where you're leaving women with your kids and you're not with them. So what's causing you to walk out, right? And the angle I want to take is like, are you equally yoked when you're getting into a serious relationship, right? Being equally yoked means like, it's not just physical. Like, you're not just, at the beginning of a relationship, people are like physically attracted to each other and all of that good stuff. That's all nice and well. But if you're thinking long-term marriage and serious relationship, there's got to be more than all of that stuff, right? There's got to be more than the sex. There's got to be more than the physical attributes. There's got to be more. You got to think of other stuff, right? You have to think of other, you have to like think ahead, right? As women, we have to think ahead, right? Because we are the ones that are going to be left with a baby, right? And we'll be like baby mama. I mean, as men are also left as baby father or whatever, the women can leave, right? So what are some of the things, right? You don't want to be with someone like, did they date long enough to know some of these family values? Did he not know the culture? Did he not understand the culture, right? I remember a show where, but then that's in public, right? What happens in public? You don't know what's happening behind the scenes at home. It seemed like the mom loved him. It seemed like her mom loved him. That's what it appeared in public. But hey, I mean, we don't know, right? All we can do is speculate based on what we've seen in public, right? So, you don't want to end up with an unbeliever, right? In a serious relationship that leads to marriage. Do you want to be with an unbeliever? You want to have similar values, even if they say opposites attract. I did something on that where that really isn't the case. I think initially it seems that opposites attract, but in reality, long term, you're gonna like clash. So you need to be with someone that like have similar values. I'm not saying exactly the same values, but at least you guys have to come to an agreement with like major things in life, like some of them like values, religion. And if you have adversity, can you work through the adversity, right? Like religion, right? If you are religious and spiritual, what is that person's belief, right? You don't want to be like a Christian and then you're with an atheist, and at home you're talking about church, or maybe you're praying and the other person is not even engaging, or they feel uncomfortable, or you feel uncomfortable praying, right? That's really important, right? What are your core values? What are your principles, your beliefs? Like, this is what makes you who you are. Like, what does your partner, what is their belief, right? Can you guys coexist without conflict? Can you ask important questions? Questions about money. Are you a spender and your partner is a saver? That's going to cause a lot of problems, right? How do you handle adversity? What about kids? Have you guys agreed on how many kids are you going to have? Are you going to have one? Listen, if you say I want one or two kids and then your partner says I want 9 kids, that's a huge difference, okay? That is a huge difference. And then what is your outlook on life, right? Do you guys plan for the future? When you guys are old, if you're married, like, what is your retirement plan? What do you plan 5, 10, 15 years from now? Do you guys talk about that? Are you a positive person and that person is negative? I mean, listen, sometimes it can work for people. You just have to know how to handle it, right? Are you lazy and the person is the opposite? Are you a very disciplined person? Are you a well-mannered, well-tempered person and the other person is temperamental? We heard Jeezy, we heard Jeannie say that she's very hot-tempered. She admitted that in public and she talked about the situation. So could that have played a part in the separation, right? We don't know, right? What are your family values? Do you know each other's family, right? Do you get along with them? Now, when you marry someone, you may think, oh yeah, I'm just marrying the person, but really, in reality, you need to observe how they are with their family. Especially for women, how does he treat his mother and sisters? If he's not nice to them, he's not going to be nice to you. Okay? What is a dynamic, right? What is the dynamic? And then, what's the chemistry? Listen, for people that think that sexual chemistry will grow, it's better if you have it. Yes, in some cases that will grow. Are you attracted to the person, right? What is your attraction level to your partner? Physically, emotionally, and spiritually, right? So when Jeannie said that he can be as cold as ice, that to me spells isolation, where he's not emotionally available. If you're cold as ice, that means you're not approachable. She can't talk, she can't be vulnerable or talk when he's in that state, right? So are you with someone that is, open-minded and you can be vulnerable and talk and get advice, right? You can still get advice from your partner, right? You need to be compatible romantically, right? I think that is very important. There should be a sexual attraction. So this is the avenue that I'm taking, right? We don't really know the details, and only time will tell what happens with these two, like whether or not they're going to be able to make it, they're going to work out their issues. And stay tuned, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe, and do feel free to leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Bye.